love a good mystery, don't you? I hope so, because today I got a mystery box again, but in a different way, and I'm going through it to find out what it's like. Hello, welcome to Christy Grace Scarlet Pen. I am an author, creativity chaser, and book lover, and today I did something that I do far too often. I bought a mystery box of books. If you have seen my other two videos, I ended up doing a mystery unboxing from the Book Grocer, which was a random warehouse which gave me about 35 books included in a pack that were going to be just completely random, all sorts of genres and everything. And then I also did a library binge bag where my library sent me about 10 or so random books that were going to be a surprise. So I have done things like this before, but I found out that one of my favorite online Christian bookstores were doing, as a sale, we're doing a $25 mystery box where you got about 5 books for $25 that were absolute mysteries, but they were fiction. So I picked fiction this time. And so in their warehouse, they needed to make room for more stock. So we ended up getting 5 books that were a mystery. And here is what they are. So because I go on this bookstore and Kurong relatively often, I know what kind of stock that they carry, what kind of books that they have in their repertoire. And this was Word Bookstore, which is an Australian bookstore online. And so I was expecting to potentially get some books that I already owned, and I did, but out of the 5 it was only 2, so I'm not worried, and one of them is very special. So, but first of all, the book that I got that I already had was Blinded by Travis Thrasher. So Travis Thrasher is like a fantasy supernaturally type writer. As far as I'm aware, from people who actually love to read Travis Thrasher, he does sort of very intense supernaturally type books. I did have this one in my bookshelf already because I've been told from people who like Travis that it seemed relatively safe as opposed to some of his other books, but I actually haven't read it yet. So this one is a double up of what I already own, and I still haven't even read that yet. So Michael meets Jasmine, who seems very mysterious, but there's all these sort of things happening in the background that he's not aware of, and of course there's danger and all of that kind of stuff. This is a double up, so I might end up giving it away to somebody or just donating it to my local, second-hand store, so someone else can enjoy it, because there's no point in me having two copies of the same book. Having said that, I did get another book that I already own, but there is a really big difference. And this book is Eyes of Justice by Liz Wheel. So Eyes of Justice is actually part of a series. I think that this series can be read in any order, but it's a triple threat novel. So there are 3 ladies. One of them is a prosecutor, one is a forensic investigator, and the other one I think is just a police officer, FBI agent. And they team together to solve, crimes and things like that. So as far as, I have all of these in paperback. So they're a little bit shorter. This is a hardcover. I was not expecting any hardcover in this pack. I don't know why, I just wasn't. But I love the hardcover. Like, it is so amazing. I wish all of my triple threat novels were in hardcover, so I'm currently still debating if I want to get rid of it or keep it, or keep this one and get rid of the other one, because then my other paperbacks won't match, and it's worth quite a bit of money, this hardcover. So I'm really happy. I paid $25 for 5 books. That essentially comes down to $5 a book. So $5 for a hardcover book is pretty impressive. Okay, so I just have to correct myself. One is an FBI agent, one's a prosecutor, and one is a criminal journalist. There is something that goes down, this crime. So these guys, look at intense crimes. I started reading the first book and it's pretty intense. Like the subject matter is really crazy. Like these books are like for real, like gritty, dirty, like, proper. They're still in the Christian genre though, so I have to believe there is at least some elements of hope in them, particularly if it's a Christian written book. It doesn't mean everybody has to, la-di-da at the end, but there should still be some level of hope kernels in there. I'd hope so. So I'm still debating if I'm keeping this guy or not, but we'll have to see. The next book that I got, so these three I don't have. I didn't have any of these. I'd never even heard of these. So I'm excited for that because it's really cool. But the next book that I got was A Steal of a Deal by Ginny Aiken. That's what I'm going with. So essentially a gemologist decides to go on a mission trip to Pakistan and gets roped into making it about work at the same time. And there is mysterious deaths and drama that happens over there, and she's got to try and survive. But I also think that there's a romantic element in this book as well, because the company sends a guy with her who she's a little bit suspect of, but I think there's a bit of romance thrown in there also. This one sounds really fun. It's not super long, which is great for me. I really enjoy Christian suspense, Christian romance suspense. It's a strange way to put that. Romantic suspense novels that are Christian. Those are the ones that sort of started my reading journey that I really, really liked with the O'Malley series by D. Henderson. So, yeah, I feel like this would be fun. Oh, the Shop Till You Drop collection. So apparently it's part of a collection, because she works at an online shopping retailer, I think. So the next one was The Art of Romance by Kay Dacus. The back, this is the funniest. Misconceptions arise when meddling matriarchs convene. So essentially, two grandmas want to set up their kids together to be in a relationship, but they have their own secrets and their own problems and their own things going on that they're probably not sharing with their grandmas, let's face it. But both of them are artistic. So one is a painter and one is a writer, which is why it's The Art of Romance. Matchmakers, it seems to me that this is a series. They actually used symbol that I use for my entanglement series, which is a rope that's sort of together. I can understand why that was used. Yeah, I mean, it seems like just a fun little novel that I don't really get much of. There's no suspense in this one. So this one just more of a romance, proper romance book, if that's what you want to say. So it'll be a nice change of pace again. I'm hoping that there will be sort of positive hope in there somewhere, because I've read recently some romance books that are very pessimistic about relationships, and that's not what I want when I'm coming to a book. Okay, the last book in my mystery book collection was Believers Among Us, and this one is a little bit unusual in that there are about 4 stories which are based off of teleplays. So there are 4 completely different stories. I'm hoping they intertwine at least a little bit, because I have absolutely no clue. Yeah, so 4 tele-stories. I think the essential element is looking down on these families and see how they go through life, and as far as I can see, it's on the drama side. So there's drama happening within these families that are doing stuff, and the prologue actually appears to be written as the point of view of potentially maybe angels or what have you, looking down on earth to see people as they discover life and God and things like that. So it's sort of like this omniscient point of view. The theme of the book is that all of these stories are being observed by someone outside. So yeah, it's kind of unusual, kind of meta, kind of weird, but I mean, it'll be good because then I can split these stories up, because they are completely different stories as far as I'm aware, because I haven't actually read it. I can split it, and so I can read one and then maybe go to another book and then come back and read another one. But they're based off of teleplays, so I'm assuming somewhere in the ether these were done somewhere, a teleplay, so it must have been played somewhere, I don't know. It was printed on like really quality like pages, like that's why it's so heavy, like these are thick ass pages. Well, I hope to like some of these. I might put Goodreads reviews on what I thought about them as I read them. I hope that these guys are a really nice change of pace for me. It'll be good to have some different stuff in the mix, but I have got a lot of things on my TBR lists at the moment, so we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, $25 for all these guys is pretty good. It's pretty cheap, it's pretty awesome. I would have been tempted to get another $25 5-pack mystery box, but I wouldn't want it to be the exact same, so that's the reason I'm not doing it. But I am pretty happy with these, and yeah, there's really only one that I won't be keeping, and one I've got to decide about. We'll see what happens. I enjoyed going through this box with you guys, and I will see you in the adventures.